So you're joining the military to try and become a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, a police officer. Any of these jobs, I can tell you the best job to pick in order to get these. But stay tuned. Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic, and that is becoming whatever specific job you want to be by using the military. And this is kind of a rant video I want to go on because there are many people that say, Nikki, I want to be a master at arms in order to go become a police officer. I want to become a legalman to become a lawyer, or I want to do corpsman to become a nurse or a doctor. And I have one big issue with this entire process, and that is that many people think that by joining the military and doing this specific job will get you up and above everybody else. And I'd like to say that's kind of true, but not true. So let's kind of go over that. So let's go through this. If you're a corpsman, you have more skills that you can use in order to become a nurse or a doctor or something else in the medical field. If you're an MA, you probably have more skills which will help you become a police officer. Or if you're an LN, you'll likely have more skills to have you become an LN or a lawyer. Okay, so as we go through that stuff, I want to say yes, they will give you a small degree of upper hand, and it will be in hands-on experience. Okay, so that can vary based on where you're at in the military. Obviously, if you're a corpsman at a clinic that could see optometry clinic for some reason, you're put over there, you're not going to see too much patient care, but that's up to you how much you take away from that. If you're an MA at Harbor Patrol, for example, shout out to Austin Alexander, are you likely going to have more skills as far as like law enforcement in regards to traffic violations? Probably not. So what I'm trying to get at here is that yes, you can use the military for a stepping stone, and it may help you. May show that you have already gained some interest in it when you apply or start going towards these other things. But it will not indefinitely give you any real certification, at least for the Navy side, to actually go do that job. People are under false assumptions. For example, at corpsman, you can get out and go become a nurse right away. Not the real deal. You have experiences like nurses do if you've worked on a ward, but not necessarily would you be a nurse. And most of the stuff that you are authorized to do in the military sector or the government sector, you cannot do in the civilian sector. That is the downfall that people have with this concept, is that they need to do this thing, to do this thing, to do this thing. When in reality, sometimes I'm like, why are you like zigzagging all over to try and like finally go to your goal of becoming a police officer, where some places they require you to be 21, for example, to become a police officer. So just wait your time. You can maybe go study like law enforcement or some kind of criminal justice type thing to give you an upper hand or show that you're interested. As far as maybe an associate's degree, you know, start looking and seeking out programs. You don't have to join the military to do that or get the experience. And to talk about jumping all over the place, because obviously joining the military is a barrier to you getting to the final destination. When I think some of you guys are already equipped to get to the final destination, you're just not trusting in yourself or looking at every possible avenue to get there. Another thing I want to point out is, if you don't get that dream job of corpsman, which will set you up for nurse and set you up for X, Y, and Z, whatever you think it's going to get you. And I want you guys to look at somebody that's maybe done one enlistment of service, and then you ask them, what job did you do? And someone might tell you they were an MA or a corpsman, and then they're doing something entirely different. And that's okay to change paths. And I want to kind of convey to you guys that I don't think that choosing one specific job is going to make or break the rest of your life like some of you guys make it to be, and that you still can divert and use the military as a stepping stone for a GI Bill and stuff like that. Get out and say you're even an AL and you get out and you're like, oh, I handled bombs for so many years on a flight deck. That's part of your story. That can diversify you from the pack. And that's what I want to get into, is diversifying and making your package stronger. It doesn't always mean following the pipeline. Just like medical schools, they don't want every person to come in with a pre-med undergrad degree. They want something to separate you or bring diversity to the profession. So that can be part of your strength, actually, and I think that's something to consider. Now, to get into this part of launching yourself out of the military into something else. Get in touch with whoever you are going to need a letter of recommendation from that might be in the field you want. So say you're not a corpsman, you're that AO, go find a doctor that you can talk to that might write you letters of recommendation for if you want to go to med school or nursing school, and find a way to scratch their back for them to scratch your back. That's what it comes down to. And have a lot of resources in the military to do that. Ask people for help, questions, whatever. Somebody always knows somebody else that might be able to help you out. Yes, obviously someone may be able to write a stronger letter of recommendation for you if they've worked for you as a corpsman or whatnot, but it's really not necessary. And that's kind of what this whole video is about, is use your own tools, use your own networking, realize you can still make something of yourself even if it's not relevant to what your final destination is. But I hope this clarified some things to understand it's not just one straight linear pipeline from A, B, C, and D, and whatever other steps that you have in your mind that you need to take. But if you do have questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.